Hey replay, hey everybody, how are you? So I am gonna hop right in because I want to keep this short and sweet. But my name is Tara and I am here because I work with NORML, which is National Organization for Reform of Marijuana Laws, and I have for 16 years now. So tomorrow is a huge, huge day. We are voting in America, which is amazing because we get to vote, right? Other countries don't get to do that. So, big day, and it is a big day for marijuana law reform. So, real quick, I'm going to tell you guys what NORML is, what we do. We don't sit around smoking pot all day. That's definitely not what we do. So, what we do is typically you will meet once a month and you will have different little chapters. I just joined my chapter here in Denver, and real quick, I'm going to tell you some of the history. In 1970, when NORML was founded, thank you, John. When NORML was founded in 1970, only 12% of the American population were in favor of legalizing marijuana in any form. 12%. So 88% totally opposed. In 2016, 2 out of 3 Americans supported regulation of marijuana, and 1 in 5 states. So 1 in 5 Americans lived in a legal recreational state, which means if you are 21 years or older, you can go access marijuana just like you can access liquor at the liquor store. Okay, so that's how that works for recreational. So that was in 2016. 1 in 5 Americans lived in a recreational state. That's insane. But more than half of us lived in a medically regulated state. So that means that if you had cancer or a situation like that, that you qualified for medical marijuana, more than half of us since 2016, more than half of the states, you could get that, which is awesome. When I started working with NORML, we were nowhere near this. So come a long way. But in 2018, this year, we have momentum that we've never had before. It is so exciting. It's so exciting. I'm going to tell you guys why I'm so passionate about this. But first, guys, Canada just legalized marijuana. They're like, we're freaking done with this. It's a plant, like whatever. Okay. Yes, it's helpful. Here you go. Canada is leading the way. Another thing with the momentum, we have the CBD that you guys know is freaking everywhere. And on the ballot this year, we have Michigan and North Dakota for full recreational. Now, I think there's like, I don't want to be misquoted, but I think there's like over 30 marijuana initiatives on the ballots tomorrow. So I want to come to you guys. I want to tell you guys why I'm passionate about legalizing not just marijuana, but all cannabis. So we know cannabis is marijuana and hemp, okay? So we've legalized hemp. So now I would like to keep working on the marijuana side until all of you guys have access, because it's a freaking plant and it helps you. So I'm going to tell you guys my story. I'm probably going to cry because I'm emotional like that. So bear with me. So I grew up and my parents were split up, and I grew up in a very small town and I was poor. That's no secret. As I was growing up, my dad was raising me and he worked 2 jobs. He went to school. And so my favorite thing to do was to go to my grandpa Jack's house. And I would go there. I would call like every end of the week and say, can I come over? Can I come over? I'd always have to get my grandma to approve. But I would go over there and I just have the best memories at their house. And this is like every weekend I was going there. I was spending a lot of time there. And my grandpa and I were like this. I hope. So if you know, my son's name is Jack. He is named after my grandpa that I'm sharing with you. So when I was about 13 years old, my grandpa was diagnosed with cancer. Now, he did smoke cigarettes, but the type of cancer, I guess, long story short, they found out that his cancer was from working in an oil refinery before they knew to wear masks and stuff, I guess. So anyways, he got this aggressive lung cancer. And I just watched him, go in, get these chemo treatments, And there was no other option. There was no other option. I'm 34. This was 40. So this was 20 years ago, right? I think that's right. I don't do math on live videos. Pretty sure that's right. But 20 years ago, and there was no options, right? So you went in, you got the chemo, and you just usually passed away. I just don't remember a lot of people really doing very good with cancer back then. And it was my first experience with it. So when I was watching it as a child, that I was so close to him, this was a father figure to me. And I'm watching this 14 years old, and I'm like, what is going on? This is the shittiest medical job they could possibly do. You're pumping poison in him. Even I knew that wasn't probably a very good medicine. So the thing is that I would sit there and eat with him, and he just couldn't eat. And he had all these pills. He had this pill container that was it was huge, and it had 3 rows and different things for each day. And he just had to take these handfuls, and then he would drink these little Ensure shakes, but he wouldn't eat. He could not eat. And he'd be like, I can't eat. It's gross. I can't chew it. It tastes bad. Nothing tastes good. And so I watched my grandpa deteriorate, waste away. He was weak. He had no energy. We know what it's like when you don't eat, right? And then he's pumping these chemicals, this poison in his body. So anyways, it was October, it was the end of October. So it was October 26th, and I had done a dance parade competition thing. And my grandpa wasn't there, and it was really odd, but we went home, went to sleep, and we got a phone call in the middle of the night. And he had fallen walking to his bathroom in the middle of the night and hit his head on the bathroom door. So I gushed open his head. And it was bad. It was bad. We went down to the hospital in the middle of the night. And I remember I walked in there, and he was like, I'm sorry I wasn't at your thing. And he told me, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, okay, he's sick. We're at the hospital. It's not whatever. I didn't think anything. And then they moved us to a room. So from the ER to a room. And we're in there talking to him. And we had to go out for something. They wanted to do something, maybe catheter or blood work or something. But we're out in the hallway, and then this nurse comes out, and she's like, you guys need to go in and say your goodbyes. And I'm like, what? No. And my grandma and my mom go in there, and I just I hit the hospital, on my knees, hospital hallway, praying. And I was like, God, you can't do this. I, first of all, was in the middle of some serious shit I hadn't told anybody about, and we're not going to get into that right now. But I was like, you can't do this, right? So I'll never forget the song, the Leanne Rimes song, The Blue Without You. That was what was playing on the speakers, and I freaking hate that song as long as I ever hear it. Anyways, I went in there, and yeah, and he passed away, and I will never forget that I was told whether I don't remember honestly in my head, because I was 14 and my closest relative had just passed, but I remember in the next coming days that people started saying, it wasn't the chemo that killed him. It wasn't the cancer that killed him. It was him not being able to eat. Or I'm sorry, it wasn't the cancer that killed him. It was the chemo. Because it was him not being able to eat. And he got so weak from not eating and malnutrients that he fell, hit his head, lost all that blood. And then he was just so weak. So I got in my head right then. I was like, okay, I am going to cure cancer. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a scientist, something. This is ridiculous. If he would have been able to eat, in my 14-year-old mind, I was like, there's something better. If he would have been able to eat, he wouldn't have been gone right now. And in retrospect, that is true. So I seen it happen again with my granny, and I was living with her at the time, and I was let's say a junior, senior in high school, and I watched the same exact thing happen, and they put her on these shakes and all these pills, and she went and got this chemo. But at the end of the day, she passed away too, and it just blew my mind. So I grew up and I was like, okay, I can't be a scientist because I suck at math, and I can't be a doctor because I suck at math, right? But I started thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be a lawyer. So I enrolled in college at a university in Indiana for pre-law, and it was there that I started studying in different, as a matter of fact, in different law cases, started studying like cancer patients for euthanasia and the different cases on that. And I started, again, thinking about cancer patients. And I just really got on this thing. And in my research, I started seeing cannabis and marijuana and things start popping up, that people were trying to do in California. And it got me excited. It got me researching. And that led me to NORML. Okay. So I found a lot of lawyers and a lot of political activists were really into the same things I was, the same wavelength. Like, we need to give patients access to something besides poison. So I found NORML. I educated myself on marijuana and on hemp, on cannabis in general, covers both of them. And I was like, okay, I want to go to these meetings. Okay, NORML, National Organization Reform of Marijuana Laws. The closest meeting was a couple hours from me. So I decided, being on Student Senate and all my wisdom as a freshman at university, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to start a NORML chapter. So that's what I did. And I went around, I stood out in the rain collecting petitions. I went around educating people on cannabis, literally not door knocking at dorms, but standing in the lobby of dorms, handing out sheets, educating people, what is cannabis? What is it going to do? What could it do for cancer patients? Literally standing there, just trying to talk to people. And of course, it's a university, so college students were like, oh yeah, marijuana. But for me, it's always been so much more. Because here's the thing. If my grandpa hadn't had one in cannabis, if he had been I want to do the chemo instead. Here's the cannabis, here's the chemo, I choose chemo. Oh, did you guys hear that? Keyword choose. When someone is dying, you don't give them your only option is poison. Okay? That is insane. And then to put people in jail, dying people in jail, because they have cancer and they don't want to put poison in their bodies, so they try a natural plant. There's people sitting in prison right now for this, and it blows my mind. So that is why I'm passionate. That's why I am involved with NORML, and that is why when CBD really started becoming a thing and I had the opportunity to jump into the cannabis industry and get paid to share these things with you, I was like, hell yes, awesome, I'm here. And CBD is wonderful and hemp is amazing. You can make anything you can make out of plastic, you can make out of hemp. You can make cars, you can make fuel, you can literally everything, okay? But I don't discount marijuana because hemp doesn't make you hungry. CBD doesn't make you hungry. And THC, it does. And I know that is something that helps cancer patients. Now, today I'm here in Denver and I get to talk to so many people. I help cancer patients every week, if not every other week, personally now. And I get them CBD and I talk to them, and most of them already have a medical card for, their cancer. But they will go ahead and get CBD as well because there are, obviously different things from each one. So tomorrow, if you guys are in Michigan or North Dakota, maybe you don't want to smoke marijuana. Maybe you don't want your grandpa smoking marijuana. That's cool. But I urge you to go ahead and vote yes, because if my grandpa had had the option, I really think that he would have taken it, probably in a pill form, something like that. But I really think more people would. I really do. If everyone has access and has a choice, I think legally they should be able to choose how they want to help their medical status. I mean, especially something like cancer. And we do have research now that shows that THC and CBD both help cancer. So if you're in one of those states, or if you have one of the many propositions for it, I strongly urge you to vote yes. Another thing is, I live in Denver now. I see firsthand the forefront of regulating marijuana. I'm telling you, it can be done. It can be done very good. Our dispensaries here, they fund the cleaning of the highways. The tax money is going to different like schools and construction and roads, and the economy is freaking booming. So again, if you don't want to smoke it and you don't think you would ever need that, it's not always about us, okay? And my view is to give access to people that need it. It's a plant, okay? So what is it? 112 people died today. On average, 112 people died today. And 112 people died yesterday, and 112 will die tomorrow from opiates, from fentanyl, from Loratabs, the same stuff I was on. And that's a lot of people. 0 have died from cannabis. 0 people. So if you're going to the polls tomorrow, please, I urge you, listen to my story and give access to adults, to patients, to everybody. It's a plant. It's not going to hurt you guys. It's not going to hurt anyone. I do appreciate you guys listening to my story. I'm so glad I didn't cry. I'm surprised I didn't cry. But thank you guys for being here. If you have any questions, drop them in my inbox. I will try my best to help you guys answer them. And if I don't know, I bet I know someone that does know. So again, thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you later. Go out and vote tomorrow. Even if you don't vote yes for marijuana, go out and vote. Bye, guys.